Something else that we need to be aware of, and how do I say this? Okay. In our personal lives, we need to be aware. New Age is one word, but God showed us another word: strange fire. Strange fire. You dig into the Old Testament, there was only certain fire that was supposed to be in the incense censers and waved before the Lord.
Yes.
Anything else was called strange fire. Today, there's on fire Christians associating with strange fire. Strange fire, strange habits, strange practices, things that are not of Christ, things that are sensational.
Isn't that term in the Bible?
Yes.
Can you explain where?
Well, I'd have to Google
It
it.
has to do with
The sons of Korah, I think, was one. Aaron's sons.
Aaron's sons, yeah.
Aaron's sons, they saw the fire of the Lord fall. I'm just going to pull this out of memory. They saw the fire of the Lord fall, and they got all excited about it, and they went and lit censers, but they were not Levites, or trained Levites. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, they lit their censers, went running around, and the Lord struck them dead.
Yes, he did.
Bam! They were dead.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, there was no, oh, please don't do that, oh, blah, 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 oh, I believe this or I believe that. It was pow, and they were cooked. And Aaron mourned over that, Aaron's own sons. That's one instance of strange fire. I'm trying to think here, let me get my Google here. But that's something I've been noticing in Christian circles, is strange fire. And so, I'm going to put it this way. Strange fire waters down the real fire. Let's see here. Let's do this. Old Testament, strange fire.
All right, I've got it in the King James. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. That's Leviticus 10:1. Well,
Yeah.
because I just put in strange fire and it's just
Yep.
bringing up. Then in Nahum, oh, he's referring to the same incident. So, yeah, but that's.
Okay, look,
That's from Leviticus 10:1.
I've got the same thing in a different explanation.
Uh-huh.
It goes on to say, this just deals has got questions. The exact nature of the profane fire isn't known, but since it was the fire that was unauthorized, it could be that Nadab and Abihu were burning the incense with fire of their own making rather than taking fire from the altar, as specified in Leviticus 19:12. And so, that's what I'm trying to say. With global warming sneaking in to where the church doesn't even recognize it's under judgment, we as individuals need to be cautious that we don't get into strange fire. And that's why it's important to pay attention to what goes on around you. Because strange fire, I'm just going to say it, it ain't God fire. So it comes from a separate place. If it ain't God, whose is it?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch! That gets deep quick. If it ain't God's fire, if it ain't the holy fire, whose fire is it? And that's what a lot of people today are associating with strange fire.
That's how deception creeps in.
Exactly.
Deception.
Exactly. And that's what God was laying on me. He says, do you understand my house has jumped on the global bandwagon? Yes.
Matthew 7 might possibly bear, I don't know, a question on it. Matthew 7 says, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your
Yes.
name? Did we not do miracles in your name?
Mm-hmm.
Did we not do healings? I don't know all the details beyond prophesying and miracles. And there's not a repudiation of those questions. Apparently they were able to do some stuff that was another source of, in the name of Christ, but of another source
Oh,
of
Mhm.
yeah,
power.
I've got,
Okay, well,
I've got the quote right
And
here.
Jesus will
Go
say,
ahead.
"Go away, I never
Not
knew you."
everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven.
there we are.
Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness.
Mhm.
So that's,
And if you're loading up your censer with strange fire like Aaron's sons did,
you're practicing lawlessness.
lawlessness.
And I think about the deception of those who did miracles for Pharaoh. They threw down the snakes, and
Yeah.
so we know that Satan does allow. God allows Satan to counterfeit his works, and we have to be very cautious of that because we can have all kinds of wonderful sensations, in the flesh, and think it's spiritual.
Oh, well, right. Oh, I had this wonderful emotional experience during worship when I went to that church, so I'm going to ignore their
False
false
doctrine.
doctrine. I'm going
Mhm.
to ignore all their stuff. I'm going to stop up my ears and cover my eyes, and I'm not going to look at it because I had this wonderful emotional experience.
Right.
Yes. And that's what I was going to,
Mhm.
yeah. And what Kim brought up is what I was going to speak. The first three miracles with Pharaoh and Moses, the first three demonstrations, so to speak, the first three, Pharaoh's dudes matched it. And so there it is. Something is out there that can do stuff. But that goes right back to intimacy in our walk. Who are we really listening to? Who are we paying attention to? As these days get darker, because there's signs and wonders out there. All sorts of crazy stuff. And that's what,
That even the elect would be deceived if it were possible. So it's saying that it is possible for the elect to be aware enough not to be deceived. But if you're not the elect or super close with the Lord, you can be deceived easily,
well,
I think.
this goes right back in what we were talking about last week, I believe. Week